If you're a sailor, Marine who posts online, pay attention. The Navy just released updated rules about your social media behavior, and the consequences might be bigger than you think. They are watching you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Military Insider. On October 28th, yesterday, the Navy published a new memo outlining revisions to its social media policy for service members.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
These aren't just reminders. They signal a shift in how the Navy monitors and holds personnel accountable for their online activity. Let's jump right into the Navy Times. All right, let's read this. It says U.S. Navy release new social media guidelines for service members. All right, you see pretty much all the social media platforms here. All right, it says the U.S. Department of Navy memo released this month details military personnel's responsibilities when posting on social media. The department said in the memo that it is reviewing reports of personnel violating its current social media policies. The disclosures of an internal review appears to be one of the main differences between the new memo and the previous social media guideline memo released on March 14th. I pulled both of the memos just so we can take a look at it real quick. I'm not going to read the whole ALNAV. I'm just going to read a couple points for you guys so at least you get the context. So this one was released this month in October 2025. Let's go right into the remarks. It says the ALNAV reinforces references through and provides additional information concerning the Secretary of the Navy's guidance on social media activities of Department of Navy, the DON, personnel. At the direction of the Secretary of the Navy, the DON is actively reviewing reports related to service members' social media activity that is misaligned with the DON's current social media guidance. The guidance remains in full effect, and we are committed to upholding the highest standards of conduct. Service members are expected to uphold Navy and Marine Corps core values on duty, off duty, and online. As you know, right after the Charlie Kirk assassination, a lot of military service members got relieved from duty or fired from their position because of their social media engagement about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Pretty much, people there were happy that he was assassinated, and they terminate him. They fired a couple officers. I remember seeing a Marine captain got fired after a TikTok post, and they are all over the place. So now pretty much the Navy is enforcing their social media standard. Let's take a look here. Number 3, yes, service members may establish social media accounts for personal, non-official use. Such personal social media accounts must be clearly identifiable as personal accounts and may not be used for official DON or Department of War communications unless subject to an exemption identified in paragraph 3.26 of reference C. Though the use of military titles or appearing in uniform on personal social media accounts may be permissible, service member must ensure that personal social media accounts avoid the use of DON or DO titles, insignia, uniform, or symbols in a way that could imply DON or DOW sanction or endorsement of the personal content. So pretty much, don't post on social media if you have any type of political preference. Don't do that if you're wearing your uniform, or you have to be very careful on how you approach that particular situation, because according to this, they are on top of the social media accounts for sailors and Marines. Where the personnel nature of social media activities is likely to be unclear, service members are encouraged to include a disclaimer clarifying that their social media accounts reflect only their personal views and do not necessarily represent the views of the DON, DOW, or the United States. You guys are not going to believe this. If you want to post something on your social media accounts, and pretty much if you look at your post history, a lot of your friends on the social media know you are serving the Navy or serving the Marine. So if you post something that involves any political or any anything related to the military service, you have to include a disclaimer on your post, like the same one you do when you post something and you're using music right from another person. You got to put the song I'm not the owner of the song, something like that. So you have to post something like this. Let me see, where is it at? Okay, let me see. As the position and grade of individual service members increase, it becomes increasingly difficult to distinguish between personal opinions and official positions of the DON or DAW. Right here, a sample disclaimer reads: the opinions and views expressed here belong solely to the author and do not necessarily reflect those of the DOW or its component. Let me read that again. So make sure you include the disclaimer on your post. Don't forget to include this. You might get in trouble. The opinions and views expressed here belong solely to the author and do not necessarily reflect those of the DOW or its components. Any mention of commercial products or services does not imply DAO endorsement. Additionally, the presence of external hyperlinks does not signify DAO approval of the link, websites, or their content, product, or services. They are going down. They are going after social media, guys. So be careful after if you decided to post anything on your personal account. Be careful, because you might end up fired. Service members are permitted to use personal social media accounts to forward, like, or link to official information, provided it is done in a manner that does not express or imply DON or DAO sanction or endorsement of any personal content, and does not result in the unauthorized disclosure or dissemination of non-public information or unclassified information that reveals classified information when aggregated. While service members may generally express their personal views on public issues, uniform service brings certain limitations to expression, including on social media. So pretty much you can still use your social media account for however you want to use it, but you need to be careful what you are posting or what you are sharing or liking, because they're watching. Be careful. Be careful. I found this. I'm going to show it to you guys in a second. But early this year, the Navy fired a Navy doctor after right-wing activists and find pronouns on social media account. So there's an account on TikTok called Lips Up TikTok. So they reposted this. I'm going to show it to you in a second, about her pronouns and her actual title. And guess what? Pete Hegseth responded. Let's watch this.
Commander Janelle Mara was serving as the commander of Expeditionary Medical Facility 150 Bravo in San Diego last week when the ex-account Libs of TikTok shared a screenshot of her LinkedIn profile. The account highlighted Mara's listed she/her pronouns and her bio, which said...
You saw her pronouns, right? She, her. And the title, it says Director of Medical Services, EMF, Bravo Navy Deputy Medical Director for Transgender Healthcare.
She was the Navy Deputy Medical Director for Transgender Healthcare. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth quote tweeted the post saying, pronouns updated. She, her, fired.
Wow. Pete Hegseth was ruthless. Pronouns updated. She, her, fired. That was the account I was telling you guys about from TikTok. Lips Up TikTok. They posted, it says, yikes. This she, her Navy commander is apparently a medical director for transgender healthcare at a naval center in California. So you already saw what happened. And this was straight from her LinkedIn account. And got into Pete Hegseth, and he got her fired. There you go. I'm going to leave the link of the memo on the description. Make sure you read it if you're a Navy sailor or a Marine. Make sure you're doing the right thing. If you decide to post, share, or like something on social media, be very careful. Make sure you include that disclaimer on your post so you don't get in trouble. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe. It really helped the channel out. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.